All right, guys, we're here with Cory. What did you do today, Cory?
I got second place at the Justice Hunters case tournament at Picante.
Okay, and what were you playing?
I played Yummy, pure Yummy.
Okay, pure yummy. Okay. Before we start with the profile, do you want to do any shout outs?
Yeah, first of all, shout out to my wife. She always allows me to go out and play.
Yes,
Doesn't give
sir.
me a hard time. Shout out to Ira. We did a lot of play testing.
We out here?
Yeah, especially the night before. Kind of coming up with some texts that I'm not seeing a lot of people playing, but they're working out pretty well. Shout out to all the rest of the boys. Arturo, Cademan, Mitchell have all been real helpful in trying to understand what Vanquish Soul K9 stuff's trying to do, where I need to be interacting, what I need to do. But yeah.
Okay, well, let's see the deck.
All right. So for the main deck monsters, all right, I'm maxing out 3 Cupsy, 3 Cookie, 3 Lollipo. I've seen people cut down 1 and 1 here and play 40. I don't think that that's necessarily incorrect, but I just really like always having lines of play, having multiple lines of play. Seeing multiple yummies is not really ever a bad thing. Actually playing 3 Surprise, which I think is different than what a lot of yummy players are playing. A lot of them are just on 2. I've even seen some of them that be on 1. I think this card's the best card in the deck. It's insane. It is not once per turn. It is each effect per turn, drawing multiple copies of Surprise or even having a copy of Surprise and then Cupsy searching you a second one can come up. Being able to have the field spell protection and double bounce, or double bounce and bring something back from grave when they out your board, like, it's just crazy. I'd play more if I could. I'm playing 1 of each field spell. I'm seeing some people cut this, and I don't think that's incorrect. I think it's definitely a cuttable card. It came up a little bit. I think I popped a couple things here and there. I do like being able to cycle them back and forth. And I kind of like hard opening them sometimes so that I always have the ability to cycle back whatever I need. But it is something that if things start to get tight in the deck, that probably will be on the cutting block. I am on the Striker package.
Okay.
So I'm only playing the 2 Engage, 1 Hornet Jones. I definitely will probably go to 3 Engage.
I was about to ask, why only 2?
Well, I just liked it being like a tight little 3 of, where it's like you've got 3 Cupsy, 3 Engage, 3 of my other package starter, 3 of the other little names, and so I just like having 3. But it did really well, so I think I will be going up to the 3rd Engage.
Okay.
As to the other package I alluded to, this is part of it. I am playing 3 Cyber Skagit.
Whoa.
So this can be a normal summon that will go up through some link 1s, make its own tokens, and then basically get you a Cupsy for free off of the normal. It also has an effect that can come up later, which is that if you draw this on like a turn 3, 4, whatever, when you normal it, you can special back level 2 or lower from the grave, and its effects are negated. So you can just immediately, like, if you get your field broke down but they don't kill you and you've got Cyber Skagit, you go Cyber Skagit, bring 1 back, immediately make a Snatchy. This can link off into a link 1, so it can become its own link 1. So yeah, this can bring back your body, and then you link him away, make the link 1, immediately make Cupsy. It comes up. I didn't see it a whole lot today. When I did, it was late and the game state was already well won. But we're going to keep working with that. For non-engine, I'm on 3 Ash. If I thought this card was cuttable, I would cut it. But I just want to have it for when Molcharmies come out. Speaking of, 3 Fua in main. 3 Bell.
Oh, interesting. Why Bell?
I really like the Bell. It comes up in the Yummy matchup, right, hitting the Lollipo or anything like that, when they're trying to bring back their 2 bodies and make a free Marcher. It also comes up, Mitsurugi still exists. It murders Mitsurugi. I will sit on this until I die, waiting on Lupus effect for K9, and just stop that whole thing from trying to come out. It did work, right? It won me. It just free won me a game against Mitsurugi. More non-engine, 3 Droplet, just a really good card. I'm on the 2 thrust, 1 talents. Also some stuff in the side deck that'll come up later. We are on 3 Book of Eclipse. This is, I don't want to say it's tech that nobody's talking about, but it's probably better than people are giving it credit for, right? If VSK9 goes off and then they pass to you and you just Eclipse in the draw phase, it just turns off a lot of stuff. It was an extremely useful interaction when I played Vanquish Soul K9 today, to the point that my opponent, across our 2 games that we played, was never able to make a single Xyz monster.
No, sir.
Unfortunately, I haven't quite worked out the lines to be able to clear their board because they were ending on 3-4 booked monsters, and obviously yummies aren't very. It's got limited removal, and so I wasn't able to kill, and it was just turning into these long grind games, which ended up running into time in game 2. So it's still something to work on, but it is definitely a tech worth exploring. I'm on the one I've called by always. 3 Imperm. I like having an interaction that's not going to trigger K9.
How do you feel about people saying Imperm's not that good right now in the format?
I mean, they're not wrong, but also it's not good in the format. It's particularly into like VSK9 or Yummy because they're just going to dodge. However, other decks still exist. Malice still exists. Crystron is still a deck. There's a lot of things that like Imperm will still hit, and people are getting too hung up on the 2 new decks and forgetting, oh yeah, we still have to beat some pretty good shit that exists. And then last 2, Gozen, Rivalry. If you can play them, you should play them.
Ooh.
That's kind of it. I didn't see them at all today, so they never came up. Still waiting for my free win. For the extra, 1 of each of the synchros. So Lolly, Cupsy, Cookie. You don't need any more. They're recycling themselves. They're coming out. They're going back. If it gets banished, the field spell's getting them back. Like you just need 1. Don't mess yourself up trying to do more.
Fair enough.
Obviously 3 Snatchy. Mandatory.
Obviously.
Kagari for the striker line. The Link Disciple and the Link Devotee, which are the cards that you play with the Cyberse Gadget. So you're going to Cyberse Gadget, you're going to get Link Disciple, the Cyberse Gadget's going to make a token underneath, you're going to token make Devotee, Devotee is going to make you 2 tokens, and then the Disciple and a token, or the Devotee and a token make you a Cupsy.
I think we're not telling people that you tribute the Devotee. You draw a card, you put the
right, and then so you cycle as well. So when you make this, you make your 2 tokens. You go Link Disciple, tribute this, and then that's going to draw a card, put 1 to the bottom, and then you Link Disciple, use another token, and
so you get to fix your hand while you're also comboing. It's pretty crazy.
So we'll see if it catches on, or. Hell, maybe
you saw here first, so maybe you see like at a YCS or something.
Maybe it'll be just me. Fuck it. The Metal Marcher, just a mainline combo piece. Also playing Double Herald.
Whoa.
I didn't make very many Heralds at all today. The people were interacting pretty heavy. I was getting Mulch-Armied quite a bit. So a lot of times this was getting left off, but you still just play it, and you make it if you can. The Link 1s, we're making Link Spider, and we're making Anima. Just Link 1s, right? You Anima take something, use it as a form of removal. Link Spider for if you get nibbed. And then the last is a Rock of the Vanquisher.
Ooh, very spicy.
So in the testing that we were doing, what we found was when I was going talents to take, I was always trying to take their rock because it gives me a Link 1, which means I can just put my whole hand out on the board. So we got to thinking about it and talking about it, and we were like, well, why don't we side in some techs in the side deck for stealing monsters? I take their Vanquish Soul, make my own rock. Instead of having to take their rock, I can remove a piece of their interaction, make a rock out of it. Now I get my Link 1 to play with.
That's really good, yeah. Maybe playing Almirage.
So yes, I am heavy considering removing the Anima for an Almirage because I think there were times where Almirage would have come up. Anima only came up once for me, and even in that moment, it wasn't particularly good. It was just like the only play left that existed. And then for the side, we are, of course, on the 3 Perulia. It's just insane if you're going second against VSK9. You just try and drop it. Likewise, I think it's probably standard to play 3 Judgments. Yummy needs sometimes a little bit of help going first to try and stop board breakers from blowing them up. So having a Judgment and a Herald's usually really, you're doing a lot then. We are on 2 Lightning Storm and a Feather Duster. Again, we're kind of moving into a breaker format a little bit. So just standard going second. Breakers. I am on 2 Cosmics. I would play 3. It just kind of didn't work out with what I was trying to do today. So I only had 2 slots. These were the last 2. I like Cosmic a lot. Yummy cannot recur their field spells from Banish unless they play a tech that can do it. So it's particularly good against that. But also it's just good to be able to out your opponent's K9 set cards, Yummy's, Surprise, any of that stuff. It's all good, right? The only thing you don't really want to be playing Cosmic into is Malice. And I'm just banking on not seeing a lot of it. And if I do, I just don't play it.
It's not real for him.
Yeah, Malice isn't real. Don't quote me on that because I'll get like 6 Malices. I'll lose all of them at the next regional. 3 Mind Control. Like I said, we're trying to steal bodies here in the VS matchup. The last card is right now is a Widow Anchor. This is going to be a change of heart. I didn't have a change of heart, so I was just like, well, we'll just high roll having 3 spells for a Widow Anchor for the steal. Obviously, it's searchable off of Engage, and then Mind Control, we're just taking things, but, it's thrustable, right? So I'm playing Thrust, I can go get my Mind Controls. Stealing people's Vanquished Soul monsters and then making your own rock, they're not ready for it.
Okay, what were your matchups today?
So I actually had the round 1 bye, so I went to the bar, had a drink. And then round 2, I played K9 Mitsurugi. Round 3, I played Outley on Blue Eyes. And then round 4, I played VSK9 on table 1. And deck felt amazing. Every hand, every game, I had multiple lines of play. I played through every hand trap that anybody ever had. I put up a huge board. Real happy with how everything went.
All right, well, we'll see you on the next one.
All right.